Hello folks, welcome to the canal Channel Jose. Today we're going to show you, give you an idea how you can fabricate or make a bolt for emergency purpose. For example, if you have to attach something back into the car that doesn't require too much strength or something around the house and you don't have the bolt and you need to be a certain length, we're going to show you and give you an idea how you can do that. For example, we got this 98 Nissan Frontier and the alternator, the long bolt that goes across the bottom piece of the alternator on the bracket, the nut came off and the threads shaved themselves off, so it's a smooth bolt now. So we tried to look for this bolt around the town and we couldn't find this length. So now, because we can't find this bolt and we've been having some problems trying to find in this bolt. So with that said, we're going to show you what we mean and what material we're going to use and how we're going to make it. And with that said, let's get started. So here is our 98 Nissan Frontier, and way down there below this pulley, there's the alternator down there. We can see it too clear, but we're going to show you on this where the bolt's supposed to go. So this will be the bottom of the alternator, and this is where the bolt will go through to bolt on the alternator to the engine. So we are this one is smooth here, so there's no threads on it, so it's not working, and then it came off. So now we need to put a new bolt in there, but we're having problems finding the length on this kind of bolt. So we found a few bolts, but they're shorter and they won't work. So now we're going to show you the material and how we make this bolt so we can put it into the alternator and you can actually use it in other components. So what we need is a couple nuts and washers, and we're going to be using all thread, and this is 3/8. And first thing you got to do is you got to find all thread the same thickness as the bolt that you're going to replicate or try to manufacture. So what we're going to be doing is using all thread to make a bolt out of that. So we're going to put a nut in one end, welded it, and then we're going to use that as our head, as the bolt, and then we're going to cut it a 1/4 inch longer or a little bit more so we can have a bolt. So with that said, let's get started and showing you the process. So now what we have done is we have put a nut into the old thread, and we're ready to weld that nut into the old thread, and we left a little space so we can weld that old thread and start making the head of the bolt. One very important step you got to do is clean really well where the welding is going to be done, so that way when you start putting some torque into it, it doesn't break off and then you have an old thread back on. So you want to make sure it's clean right there where the welding is going to be done. So once we do that, we weld it now. So now as you can see, the nut is welded to the old thread, so it has began the shape of the bolt. That's the head of the bolt now. Now that we have welded the nut to the old thread at one end, we put our original bolt, and we're going to give it about 1/2 inch longer. That's for us, that's going to work for us. So then we're going to put a mark, and then we're going to cut it. You don't cut it too short, you rather cut it a little bit longer and then go from there, especially when they have to be threaded and that kind of stuff. So you want to cut a little longer or just cut it flush if it works for you. But we're going to be about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch longer, and then cut it. So now we have these welded, and then we cut it to the almost to the length, and we want to say that this original bolt is grade 8 or stronger, so the one we're making is softer. So this is for not too tough of a jobs. When you're doing this is for jobs that you are going to be able to handle, just holding stuff together, but not a lot of pressure. So we're going to smooth it out this other end where it's going to be the bolt, and this is already the head of the bolt. So then we can start putting it together into the truck. So, but this is getting the shape of a bolt. This is a custom made bolt at home. So now we have smoother in the end where the nut is going to thread into the bolt, and then we have a head of the bolt made with the welding that we did. So now we can start threading the regular nut into it and see if it's going to thread in. So here it is, folks. We have a bolt that we made that is going to work on to what we need for, and this is an old thread converted into a bolt. So you need a special length bolt. You can make it out of old thread. it depends if you're not going to put a lot of pressure into it. You just need to hold something together, but you need a custom made bolt. You can make it out of old thread, and it's as simple as just finding the thickness of old thread as the bolt that you need. So that's it, and just use washers and a nut to do it, to convert the head, to make the head of the bolt, and the other nut to make the regular nut that is going to go in. And well, folks, hopefully this information was helpful and useful for the future on your projects. And we wanted to share this, that you don't have to look for any more specific length bolts. You can find grade 8 old thread, make into a bolt. So that way, if you need a shorter, longer bolt for a project, now you have an idea what you can do. This, we don't recommend using old thread, a soft material for suspension and all that kind of good stuff. We wanna just give you an advice that this is just for light stuff. So for holding something that is not gonna take weight of the car or stuff like that. So for that kind of scenario, you probably wanna find the right bolt or the actual bolt that comes for that component. So with that said, folks, hopefully this was useful and helpful. For our folks who are watching our video and haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. If you like our video, give us thumbs up, share it, and we'll see you soon with more videos here in el canal El Chano Jose.